I think you're gonna really like today's video. Now you know that I don't watch other channels, other speakers, spiritual teachers, whatever you want to call them. I like my information to come in clean and pure, and I blast it out there. What's exciting is some of you are telling me that others are speaking some of the same and teaching some of the same things that I am. I've got something really different today. We talked about light workers in our last video, what's happening with them, and the shift in how they're handling things out there, why they're here, who they are. I'm going to talk more about that, but I'm going to talk about what I call the retreat. Doesn't mean they're going away. It means something way more powerful. I'm also going to talk about the difference in the light workers back in when Christ was walking the earth, what it is, what's required of them, and what they're doing right now to take us into a completely new earth. It's powerful. You can participate in this. It's very exciting stuff. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube. Get your coffee ready. This is a good one. I'm here to raise the frequency of the planet one light being at a time. I started seeing that 10 years ago, and I realized that just came to me. One light being at a time means all you have to do is be aware of this within yourself. You will change the entire planet, beyond. We're just one endless energy field. I'm going to talk about the light workers today. What are they? What are the requirements of the game? How it differs from light workers back hundreds of years ago, back in the times of Christ and Buddha. Why it's different, and what's going to happen because of it, what's happening right now. Now, I call it the Master Retreat. I always say big event because it is really an event happening. It's a transition that's happening that's very noticeable. All right? It's not one cataclysmic thing that happens. It's actually a transference that you will notice because we went into what I call the tipping point. Now, if you purchase my book, Breakthrough Fear, I go over the tipping point and the knowing. That's where we are right now. That means we go into a knowing, a consciousness that requires no words, that takes you into space, that opens you up into the power that you are. You are that power. Why don't we feel like it? We come here with veils. Now, I hope you'll subscribe and let YouTube know that you want more positive videos of probabilities that exist right now that we can choose on a higher frequency. And I'm going to share today with you how you can do that. The meek shall inherit the earth. We're going to talk about that. The meek does not mean the weak. What does it mean? The meek are those. Light workers are not. I don't like to label anybody, but we're going to label light workers as people that came with, let's just say, energy fields that came with a specific mission to help out at this time period. There have been light workers all the time here. There are different frequencies. If everybody came here in the lowest frequency and stayed there, we'd have been blown up by now. So the game has to have, let's just say, equal participation of these forces that allow it to choose which way we're going to go. And so unfortunately, the higher frequency choices still exist with the lower frequency choices. That's very painful. And the lower frequencies feel very, just say, threatened by the higher frequencies. And this is where it becomes painful to be on earth. So the meek shall inherit the earth doesn't mean the weak. The meek will not respond to anything in a lower frequency manner, okay? I want you to remember this, because this is you. What does that mean? If I am threatened, if I am challenged, I, as the meek, will not respond in conflict, blame, separation, judgment, because that means that whatever force, that person, group, or whatever, that is poking at us, trying to trigger things, did their job. They want to pull you into the density. They love conflict. They love to be right. The meek will not respond in that manner. It doesn't make them weak. We no longer, now here's the difference between Christ's era and what's going on now. The old way was forces, we're going to battle. They'd go into battle and physically kill each other. Way past that now. Not necessary. We know that that is the lowest density. But back then, in the physical world, where they didn't know what they were, where they were just learning their power, that they were connected to something beautiful, not an angry God, but one that loves us all, that is all. So they weren't even willing, even though Christ said, ye are all gods, these things you shall do and more. They still weren't ready to believe that. We're starting to believe that. That takes us to a completely different shift in the matrix. What's the matrix? It's just a game. It's not an evil thing. We're creating it. How can it be evil? We are it. We are the energy field that fuels this game. So it's like if you're playing some really cool game and you have to find the wand and the key, and then you find the treasure chest. Oh, and I have the key. That's all it is. That's all it is. You keep evolving. Well, we've evolved now. Some people have chosen not to. The difference between light workers and those who are still creating chaos in this planet in the most negative frequency is light workers come here with fewer veils. They already know what they are. They have memories of things that people would think they're cray-cray, but they know the truth. Why do we think people are cray-cray? That's when you're in density and so many limitations you can't imagine something so vast and beautiful that all things are possible. All right? Okay, so let's go into this. Christ's era was when he had to physically, light beings, every light worker, every player, no matter where they come in at and whatever they choose here, doesn't make them below anybody, they have to experience density. Christ had to experience density. He could not teach and go through everything that he did unless he experienced it himself as a dense being. It's great to come down here and say, okay, my mission, yeah, I'm going to come down all powerful, all awakened. Oh, hey guys, this is easy. No, he had to go through the same things that every person does. Fear, pain, he lost his faith, he got angry, he knew what it was like to experience the density, but he chose the highest frequency to demonstrate that you don't have to stay there, that there is a higher choice and what that is. It's possible to make those higher choices. You never have to be threatened by this. And that even after it's all over, no matter what that outcome is, you're eternal. That's what he demonstrated. And to forgive everyone who was murdering him while he was suffering was the demonstration that you can love no matter what. These things you do to the least of us, you do to me. So when you go into separation and blame and you become, we're light workers, we're the spiritual ones, but they're evil. And when you use words like evil, not good. That's a judgment. Lower frequency, lower choices. Doesn't make somebody evil. We don't know what's behind that. You can never know somebody's journey or story. That's a judgment. Tough. It's tough because it's nasty. You mean I should be okay with children being abused? I'm like, no, I'm not telling you to be okay with anything. I'm telling you it is. It just is. I am that. I am. What are we going to do about it? So we sit there and say, well, we're talking a good line. What are you doing about it? All right? Ooh, you know what this is? So what I want to share with you today is light workers are retreating, not from the world here, but from how they handle things. We don't have to go around and enlighten people on what they are. That is available now. Everybody has access to all of that. It's pretty acceptable. You don't get burned at the stake anymore. So that is not necessary. Now we will continue to speak about these things and allow people to maybe make different choices about what they think things are. Neither right nor wrong. We've all evolved. You know, I remember thinking, about aliens, like, I don't know what that all is. And now I have such a clear picture of it, but I still don't have all the answers. As a human, don't expect to have all the answers. You're here on a journey to be human, to be dense. So Lightworkers came out to play the game. Now here's the thing about Lightworkers. They have to come in as dense humans to play the game. No one outside of the density is allowed to change the game. They have to, like Christ, you want to change it? You got to participate in it. Yeah, then let's talk a good line. Right? That's like, ooh, this isn't so easy anymore. When you get triggered and you get angry and you go, this is wrong. Realize, wait a second, my whole mission here is to shine that light, to be the change. And that's what's happening right now. Lightworkers are retreating from the teachings and the this is how it should be and all this other stuff to action. Creating the holistic, let's just say, spaces, hospitals. I don't want to call them hospitals. Communities where they're teaching holistic ways. Those who are standing up and speaking out about our health. They're actually taking action, teaching children, organizing that, teaching children how to become higher choice beings, not giving them games that kill other people, right? It's programming. You letting your kids do that? Are you doing it? It's programming. Pulling away and retreating from the density, participation in the density, and creating the new earth. All right? So, creating new businesses, you guys, that's what I'm doing. So, business, money, let's get somebody to buy my stuff. Let's say the right thing. We all get marketing techniques. Here's what you must say to get them to say it. What are the objections? No, we don't do that. We create things so powerful and beautiful that people want to participate in because their lives are going to be better. Their relationships, they're going to earn more money. They're going to do things for a living that the planet benefits from, that others benefit from, that they will. That's how we should have been doing business. I was a former investment banker. You talk about dirty, rotten, sneaky, cutthroat. And I went online, and it wasn't that much different. Money, and everybody telling you how you can earn, right? That's a world out there that still functions in density that is rooted in the material world. Now, I want to share this with you. Just because you go into a high frequency, you don't care as much about the material world, doesn't mean you're not going to enjoy it. Doesn't mean you're not going to have it. You're going to have more. But you're going to have more of the things that you truly appreciate and love. They're things that I love. I don't want to give them up. If I had to, I would be okay. But I still enjoy the material world. But it doesn't control your happiness anymore. All right? So people are learning this, right? The light workers are showing that we can have abundance. You don't have to listen to that world over there that tells you that you need to be a worker responsible person, miserable, stressed out, unhealthy, because that's your, you have to pay your bills, you should do that. Get the money and then you'll be happy. Here's that's programming. I'll tell you why. Because the people who own the big kahunas can't function without that worker force that's willing to sacrifice their happiness. Somebody has to do the dirty work. If you want to step out of that, you can become a part of the new earth. I created digitalexplorers.net, Planet Conscious Businesses. It starts with passion, purpose, positive impact, and then profits. Why? I am now taking action. We're creating that. I can't keep talking about it and telling you what to do. I have to be the action, and this includes you. You have to stop using the crap in your house. You have to stop talking about what's horrible out there and do something about it. Not in conflict, but how the Meek will handle it is with love, compassion, and solutions. We're doing that. And that is the retreat of Lightworkers, from the teachings and, we're going to talk about it, to the actual creation of the new earth, right? The institutions of holistic health, the things that they will never use that are used in hospitals, because those doctors get fired if they say anything. I know I've friends have told me, if you only knew what we have to say and do, and they're sick. They're sick that they're having to do that. I'm not saying there's something wrong with medicine. There's beautiful things come from that. Nothing, there's no right nor wrong. There's always something beautiful in everything, including the lessons we learn from those who are dense out there. You cannot learn something unless there's a challenge for you to make a higher choice. So when somebody threatens you or challenges your peace, now you know if you're really all that. Because what's your response going to be? Those are our best teachers. And the meek know this. It's about my response. Now I have to take action. And the light workers, they are the meek, and they shall inherit the earth. Not the weak. They're not weak. Weakness is when you get sucked into the low density. You get sucked into the argument. You get sucked into the taking sides or anger, blame, judgment. That's the weak. You just caved. And that's okay. You have do-overs here, all right? But everyone here, including light workers and the most awakened people, are being challenged because we're in the matrix. You don't escape the challenges. It's part of the game, and it continues on. It doesn't stop. You go into that space of enlightenment, you're like, oh, I'm here. No. You're going to keep getting challenges because you have an opportunity to keep evolving and evolving. Are you ready to step into that? Because when I got downloaded my Breakthrough Fear book, it was time. I was told it's time to get this out there. People are ready for it. People are ready to know what they are and that they're unlimited, powerful beings. And they have to start to accept this. And then you will start to entangle with things that are on a higher frequency, and you will stop paying attention to the lower stuff. Everything you do entangles. It's your choice. All right? So this is the separation, the retreat into a new, beautiful world of action, creation, expansion, and saying, okay, you too are welcome. But you can't get to that penthouse if you're down here. It's not going to come down to you. You've got to go up to it. And light workers, creating something beautiful up there. You can participate in it. They aren't better. They're just demonstrating within the matrix what we all are. And it is a choice now. Are you ready to make that choice? I hope you enjoyed this. So let's just recap. Christ's era, totally different, dealing with complete density, right? God's an angry God. To, we know that all things are possible. We know that we are that and more. We know that we are one. We know that everything's connected. We know quantum physics demonstrates this. But now we have to ask ourselves, how do we deprogram what has happened and how we respond to things, what we think we are over here, and become this? This is your task. Let it go. Observe. Observation is one of the most powerful things you can do. And listen. When you go out for a walk, when the mind's going or somebody triggered you, listen. And you'll hear the breeze, the birds. You might hear things you never imagined. Maybe a voice will come in, an inner voice that gives you information, that prompts you to do something. Because you are connected to all that. It's right here. It's your choice. I hope you'll subscribe. Please share my videos. DigitalExplorers.net. We're creating planet conscious businesses. We're finding out what you love. We're helping you to find that passion. Well, most people don't. And then we create businesses around it. You don't have to come in knowing what that is. The whole training is to find what that is and create a business, a real one, around it, with a strategy and ability for you to earn money so that you can get out of that other destructive space you're in that's making you unhealthy. If that's of interest, you can click here. Free stuff here. Webinar explains exactly how this works and why online businesses are failing, because it's functioning in the old world. All right? You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.